and here we go. Mongols and Celts, 2v2. Mateus and Timotheus, which is, I'll use Matt and Tim. This is Melkor and Feanor, I believe, but I can never remember who's who. People always tell me, but you know what? They're playing with these names for like 2 years, so we're going with Matt and Tim here. Versus Dogao and Miguel. Going to absolutely enjoy this game. What's your music preference, Killer? Well, you'll figure that out as we go through the live channel and I play more music. It's kind of just random stuff from the 90s and 2000s. I'm kind of old. Anyway, Celts and Mongols should be an interesting game. We'll have to see how these maps look and try to figure out what these different players are going to go for. Obviously, the map here is Arabia. You can see that the blue player Dogao here has some pretty crappy wood lines to deal with, but that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal for Arabia. Hey, Million4, good to see you. Mateus starts with AM, so he's Melkor. That's how I remember. There you go. Those of you guys out there playing the Melkor versus Feanor board game, now you know. Imagine if that was a board game. That'd be awesome. Anyway, Dogao's wood lines suck, but he does have, poorly located gold. He does have some nice stone piles on the back, I guess. It's not the worst map. It is Arabia. All's fair in love and war, but I don't love it. Miguel will be Dogao's teammate. I would say Dogao and Miguel here have a pretty serious advantage in the ratings department. Well-deserved. They're very, very good team game players. We'll see how this goes. Hey, Makes Chen. I don't know. We don't have the score function, but thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome. Serious ELO imbalance. Yes, indeed, Bogus. Welcome to the channel. I think we just got a host from Magnolia. Is that why people are here? I'm not sure. But anyway, thanks for the host, whomever it was just a moment ago. Anyway, green player Miguel playing as Mongols has deer near his base, and that's a really nice bonus. Mongols with a faster gathering food from hunt, and you can see 3 villas on wood. We might see like a 19 population up or a 19 villager uptime, rather. Anyway, for the moment, Miguel continues to work his way in. He can go early into scouts. He can go fast archers if he wants. Not the greatest map for Miguel either, but at least he's got a nice wood line. This gold pile should be something he can keep safe as well. Okay, so I like Miguel's map. He is Mongols, notably Timotheus here. Tim, who is Feanor, if I'm playing the board game correctly. Feanor here playing as Celts. Celts Mongols on both sides, so it's a non-mirror matchup the way the players are situated. Tim's going to have his main gold on the front, berries on the front in an ugly location. Wood lines are also crappy, but again, it's Arabia. Don't like this map at all. It's pretty open, no good wood lines. Gold piles are all on the front, except for this one, which is a mile from the TC. This is going to be a really tough game. Celts player has 4 villas on wood relatively early. I don't see a barracks at the moment, but we may see a barracks and a drush. Okay, finally, without any more rambling from Killer B, we're going to see Mateus here in the blue, in the red. This is Melkor. He's going to have a decent gold position. I think he can wall this area and take this gold really safely. Berries to the side, wood line on the back. Pretty decent map. Red player here might be he has to be thinking about fast feudal here with Mongols, right? He has to be thinking about not losing this villager. Man, taking a lot of hits from the boar. Taking hits from the from the boar. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, taking the Mongols food bonus as well here is the red player. But his eco looks a little interesting to me. He's taking sheep over by the mill. He's got 1 villager on berries. He's on 17 villagers at the moment, and I don't think he's going to click up quite as soon as Miguel will. I think Miguel is going with maybe the more standard fast feudal, looks like at the moment. 17 villagers. We will see 1 more vill here from the green player. We will see Loom, and then we'll see him click up. Okay, Miguel will be out early. I would have to assume that he's going to go scouts. It's possible he'll go with something else. Miguel with a long boar lure here to end the Dark Age. Those scouts are going to have some really good areas to raid. The yellow player here, Tim, will be going with a quick feudal, but he's going to have scouts in his base probably before he reaches feudal age. Barracks is coming down from Dogao. Miguel is Mongols is dangerous. I agree, Bogus. Miguel is anything is dangerous. He's a dangerous dude. Looks like for the moment we will see a barracks coming down from the blue player Dogao. He's just now scouting forward, and let's just take a look really quick at what he has scouted already. Dogao will work his way around behind the TC. Hightower, is this game live? I saw the Irish brothers playing Dogao and Miguel earlier today. This is a game from earlier today, man. I hate to spoil it for you, but this might be one you already saw. This is from earlier this very day. Looks like for the moment, Dogao is going to take some damage on his scout circling around the TC. Unfortunate for him. But he does have good scouting information there, and we'll see. A couple vills headed over to gold. Dogao here maybe thinking about militia and then men-at-arms. Yeah, Vald Orange, good point. That sheep did go down. That sheep went down the old-fashioned way. Who shoots a sheep with an arrow? I mean, WTF, bro. At the moment, Tim is clicked up to the feudal age. Does not have a barracks down yet that I can see. The barracks is down for Miguel, and soon we are going to see a stable. Looks like 2 villagers will be over there to power build that stable. And we'll see if those scouts get in and do some damage. There is the feudal age for the green player. No spoilers, please, says Bogus. Yeah, indeed. So for the moment, we will see Miguel get the jump on his opponent. Will that jump be enough? Stable's coming down. We are going to see the yellow player get a barracks up. Probably get a spearman out as soon as humanly possible. And try to defend himself. He's walled up a little bit of what he can. But Tim here he's really open to some raiding. Going to be hard to defend the berries, the wood line, with one spear. He's going to need a couple of them, and he's going to need them pronto. Anyway, first thing that comes out is actually a spearman from Miguel. He's going to follow that up with 3 scouts. Unfortunately, the green player's initial scout on quite low HP. Meanwhile, on the other side, Dogao is coming forward with what is going to be men-at-arms and possibly some towers. We've got 3 vills coming forward right now from the blue player. 2 villagers back at home on stone. So we may just see a couple of towers dropped from the blue player Dogao. And let's just see where he puts those. Tower location in a tower rush is obviously important. You want to take your opponent's resources away as much as you can. This gold, for instance, will be a little bit tricky to do damage to. Looks like Dogao for now will head in that direction with his vills and maybe get a tower right on this wall. Not quite sure. Dogao for the moment is kind of surveying his options. His men-at-arms roam into the wood line here of the red player Matt, or Melkor if you will. Looks like those men-at-arms will get to work. The scout from the red player will go down really quickly. Villagers will take this fight because what other choice does the red player really have? He's going to lose a couple vills probably in the process. In the meantime, Dogao will drop a tower, not within range of that gold, at least not by my eye, but he can push these walls down pretty quickly, I suppose. Villagers dropping like flies. Couple men-at-arms there, able to kill a couple of vills, and I think that's a win if you're Dogao. This tower he could just leave and walk away if he wants to. We'll see if he continues to creep around. Green player Miguel initially looked like he was heading toward the red player, but the red player here is pretty hurt. Mateus is not going to be able... Oh, no, there's a hole in the wall. Oh, sweet Jesus. Red player is a bit hurt, so Miguel's scouts are going to do better to raid the yellow player here. Tim, this wood line on the back that we talked about being really, really far from the TC is going to... it's going to be totally idle. These vills might get home. Most of them might get home safe, but that poor lady is dead. This entire wood line idled, unfortunately, by the scouts. Great micro there from Miguel, just leaving at the very last second to get away from those spearmen. Dogao is going to hang out in his tower for now. I think he should get out of dodge with those 3 vills. I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but that's my 2 cents. Tim here, the yellow player, is going to continue to build up scouts. He's invested quite a bit of food in his feudal army. That's going to slow his castle time down a bit. Miguel has not been that busy with scouts that I've seen. Here we go. 2 more scouts on the way out as we speak. Green player transitioning over to gold should be in really nice shape to go to the castle age. Not terribly soon, but soon enough. Probably sooner than his opponent, but we'll see. Wheelbarrow coming in for the green player as we speak. A little bit of Xing going on that wood line from Dogao, telling his teammate Miguel, this is a juicy spot on the map that you can go hit. Green player will head directly in that direction. Miguel is not walled up, so he's pretty vulnerable here. This would be a really nice time to see the yellow player push out. Tim will push out, and somehow he's chasing these scouts already. I don't think he could see that initially, but yellow player may be sensing where those scouts might be going and keeping Miguel busy just for a little bit longer. The Red Army, the Russian Red Army coming forward. Mongols player here has a couple of archers, couple of skirms, no upgrades at the moment. Just coming forward to try to hit his opponent a little bit. You want to tower me and go men-at-arms, then I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey. Saw a small clip of this game. Did you see the coming at you like a spider monkey part of it? Green player is coming forward, telling his teammate where he is, and oh god, he's going to be potentially 1 second too late. Just literally 1 second too late. Red wall's finished, but there's a hole in this house wall on this side. Oh god. Mateus here is going to get chewed up and spit out. GG to his wood line for now. 6 scouts in there on the wood line. Red player is once again going to take a fight on that wood line instead of running. We're going to see a couple vills go down here for sure. Miguel is going to really get some good idle time. He's going to get what I think is 3 or 4 kills, but I'm not sure. Green scouts still circling around, many of them on relatively high HP. I think we've seen 3 villagers go down, and probably we will soon see a 4th. I'm going to guess it's 4. Anyway, those scouts get out of dodge, trading 3 scouts for 4 villagers and all that idle time. Absolutely a great trade. In the meantime, though, the yellow player Tim has brought his army toward Miguel, has killed a villager, I think. Unfortunately, he is going to take on a spearman here out in open country. Not exactly the best investment. But Tim here trying to hit Miguel while Miguel's scouts are gone. Unfortunately, does not get in a whole lot of damage. Miguel and Dogao here are in a pretty commanding position. I think we'll speed this recording up just a little bit because I think we are going to see this game finish in the Castle Age. Feudal armies still roaming around, but they are significantly beaten down. This army from the red player is maybe the biggest army on the map. Certainly is. But those units are really not the scariest thing in the world at this point in the game. Yellow player's out killing wolves. Miguel is safe at home. Gold economy is going really nicely for Miguel. Tim will click up to Castle Age first. Looks like Dogao and Miguel will soon be on that path as well. Red player is going to be the slowest one up. Matt here is going to just be on 100 food, 100 gold. Miguel clicks up to the Castle Age. It looks like the red and yellow players will join forces here. Matt and Tim are really good at playing as a team, and they're going to come forward together. Unfortunately, Timotheus's army here is going to really get pretty much chopped down to nothing before this fight even really goes down. Dogao with archers and skirms here on the front does not have the defensive upgrade. He's outmanned by the army here of the red player, but he's got a couple scouts here from his teammate Miguel. They should be able to hold this line and probably clean this up, but we'll see. Yellow player Tim hits the Castle Age. Celts player is going to drop 2 stables, and he's going to start cranking out some knights, I would guess. One would have to imagine that it's going to be a couple of knights. Celts don't really have the best knights, but needs to find a way to turn this game around. And with all of these weak feudal age units from Dogao, knights seem like a pretty decent choice. Red player is sending in a second feudal army to try to harass Dogao. Dogao has towered up his ugly gold. We talked about how ugly that gold was. Looks like for now Dogao will try to keep himself safe here. I'll share it with you when this game is over. All right, great. We got a clip in our near future. Let's see, what does Dogao have for stone? That's my question at this point. Just 300 stone in the bank. Definitely is going to start thinking about a castle. Celts player, maybe a castle and some woads. Seems like a wise choice. For the moment, Castle Age is just now being clicked for Dogao. He is going to try to beef up his archers relatively soon, I would think. Still chasing around the red player Matt. Matt's just trying to wreak havoc and keep his opponent really busy. In the meantime, the first couple of knights coming out from the yellow player Tim. Tim's going to have 4 or 5 knights out. He's going to run immediately toward Dogao. The problem is Miguel is already here with camels. That's right. You forgot Mongols can build camels, didn't you? No, you didn't. You wouldn't forget that. I'm sorry I even insinuated it. But we will see a couple camels forward here. Miguel has to be careful not to get too far out over his skis. 6 on 2 is not that good of a fight. But those camels are a really nice counter and will slow down the knight rating quite a lot. Quite a bit of slowing of Tim's knight rating. Yellow player is going to add in a second and a third TC. No monos here. 3 TCs, Monastery is up. Yellow player starting to transition over to a little bit of stone for the moment. And yeah, we've got a game still on our hands. I think that Dogao and Miguel should be able to handle this one. They're in a really nice position. But by no means is it going to... Momano will have to go to the bathroom for a few moments. I wonder what for. I wonder. It's still possible here. Still possible for Mateus and Tim to pull this back. We got to be cheering for them because they are the underdogs in this set of games. The ELO difference, the ratings difference is pretty huge, but these guys can handle themselves. Anyway, looks like a little bit of teamwork hanging out on this hill, ready for some crossbowmen and bodkin arrow to come in, and we will see that army roam forward, that conglomerate working together in unison. Let's see, a little bit of knight rating again on this back wood line. Damn, that back wood line is just so ugly. Those couple of knights from Miguel at the moment will be bloodlined with +1/+1. We'll see Thumbring, Bodkin Arrow coming for the red player. FCZ Forever's here. What's up, man? I haven't seen that name in a little bit. Lovely. Good to see you. Camels running straight into crossbowman fire. Not so great, but we'll have to see these two armies position and jockey for position. Dogao here is going to... Is he dropping a TC there? That was interesting. Dogao is going to pull back his army for now. He's going to have to cede some territory. Matt and Tim here are just too formidable for him to turn and fight. +1/+2 on the knights from Tim. They will soak up quite a lot of arrows. And really nicely upgraded crossbows from the red player Matt. Those two guys coming forward together, making a push on Dogao. But Dogao here hasn't lost anything yet. He's just giving up a little bit of territory. Green player Miguel is coming around the horn with knights. He's telling his teammate to keep those units busy until his knights can get into the fray. It's going to be 7 knights and a couple of camels. 7 knights and a camel for the green player, but the problem is he's just a little bit too slow to the fight. While his knights work their way over, Dogao will lose quite a bit of his army. I think Dogao and Miguel, though, will probably still handle this fight. Let's see, red player lobbing in arrows as best he can. Knights really starting to dwindle in numbers, so Tim here is going to retreat. And yeah, Dogao and Miguel are holding their own. Villager count for the moment. Miguel on 69 vills. Oh, 69. Tim is on 62, so those guys standing toe-to-toe on villager count. Dogao and Mateus are relatively close as well. But this army for the red player is GG. It's cooked. That army is going to die. Hey, Kig. This wreck, I don't think is from a tournament. This is just from earlier today. Looked like a fun set of civs and fun set of players. Dogao will get a university down. He will start to work his way toward ballistics. Looks like a university also coming for the green player. And Miguel here maybe thinking about a castle, maybe thinking about some Mangadai. We shall see. More TCs coming up for the green player as we speak. Holding the line with some pretty beefy knights, but maybe thinking about Mangadai to maybe twist the knife and finish off his opponent. Dogao and Miguel here are in a really good spot. We've seen the armies sort of reboom. Red player Mateus continuing to build crossbowmen up the wazoo. A couple of knights out from the yellow player. They're going to try to cling to and hold this hill. But their opponents aren't really in full push mode. They're not in full try-hard mode. Looks like Miguel and Dogao are booming up a little bit and maybe making a unit transition rather than trying to bludgeon their opponents to death. Crossbows on the front here for Dogao need to get out of dodge. Those units are in real danger of getting cleaned up for free. If Tim is paying attention, which it looks like he is, he's just going to go ahead and send his knights all the way around behind this army. Is that the plan? Oh, I like this a lot. Red player needs to get some shots in. Knights roaming around. They're going to come in from behind. Man, it's like Jaws. They just keep lurking in the distance. Dun, 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 dun. Finally, those knights get in. They did almost no damage whatsoever. But they will survive with a couple of crossbows from Mateus. They will now fight 2v1. Red player trying to get his crossbowmen up to the hill, and we'll see how this fight goes. Green player has more knights, but the hill bonus, reinforcement bonus for the yellow and red players, and it looks like Miguel is going to have to turn tail and run. Miguel is going to have to turn tail and run for now. He and Dogao are keeping Matt and Tim very busy and very interested. In the meantime, Miguel's numbers and Dogao's numbers on villagers are starting to climb a little bit more quickly than their opponents. I'm assuming that we've seen a castle come from Miguel at some point, but I could be wrong about that. Castle is coming as we speak, and we are going to see a transition probably into some Mangadai. I don't know. I mean, knights are still streaming out. Green player here is not ready to call it a day on knight production just yet. Interestingly, Tim will go pretty damn deep into knights. This is a lot of knights. I'm not a huge fan of going knights with Celts, but you know, they're formidable. They are +1, +2 for now. Decent strength castle unit. And for now, Feanor and Melkor, Mateus and Timodius will hold the line and just kind of hang out. They do have this hill. They should be able to hold this hill pretty nicely. And for now, we basically are waiting for this game to ramp up. Both armies kind of posturing around each other. Looks like the yellow player getting out a bit over his skis here. A meat shield of green knights will hold the line. Lots of arrows being lobbed in from Dogao. These knights are actually not necessarily having their intended effect. Mateus, though, will get his army forward. Red crossbows will start to get some damage in. Looks like the green knights starting to really get dwindled down here pretty quickly. Couple monks as well for Timodius, getting maybe a conversion there. Looks like in the end, Dogao will get pushed all the way back home. Miguel on the way to Imperial Age, grabbing thumb ring, grabbing padded archer armor, absolutely positively probably thinking about Mangadai. Mangadai production is beginning. He's going to drop 2 castles, which are in an interesting spot. This castle is really far back for what he's intending to do, which is protect his soon-to-be trade eco. You would think that castle would have been more useful here, but I don't know. I'm not really qualified to tell Miguel what to do. He's much, much better at this than I am. Anyway, Dogao is dropping some houses there to keep his eco safe, I guess. Crossbows from Dogao are really not in a terribly high number, but he is trying to hold the line. Looks like both armies from Matt and Tim, from Feanor and Melkor here, will head toward the green player Miguel. They're going to find castles and Mangadai. Conscription on the way for the green player. And Nim dropping a... Nim dropping a link in the chat from this game when it happened live. I'll have to check that out as soon as I'm done here. Looks like stone mining continues for Miguel, thinking about more castles. There's that castle I wanted, but now it's going to be basically trying to come up in the middle of a war zone. Double castles will push this away, but Matt and Tim will hold the line for a moment. They will hold the line, and man, look at this. Triple castles from Miguel in one little area of the map. Very interesting location. Looks like Tim and Matt will circle around and maybe try to come from behind. Coming at it from behind. The problem is, yeah, there is an opening up there. See if the red player can get there. Timodius for now is trying to soak up some arrow fire while his very slow teammate, these very slow crossbows, slowly roam forward. Those units are going to find some gold, man. They're going to find a couple vills here on this gold pile. But it looks like Dogao will try to get out of dodge before that can happen. Mangadai and crossbows have these units on the run. I think Matt and Tim can take this fight. I think they can turn around and just fight this. But they seem reluctant to do so. Looks like the knights will go in, absorb a couple of arrow shots. Crossbows are going to try to maybe hide in the fog of war, but it's not going to last long. These armies just ran the entire time. They could have turned and fought and gotten some trades, but now we're going to see 3 or 4 Mangadai die for an entire group of crossbows and an entire group of knights. So not a great fight, not a great situation. Dogao and Miguel starting to maybe squeeze the life out of their opponents here. Imperial Age is coming for Mateus, the red player. He's going to be up a little bit after Dogao. Dogao is going scale mail armor as we speak. What is the blue player up to? Dogao is building a castle of his own and maybe some woads. Gotta love the panache of finishing a game off with some Woad Raiders. Looks like Woad's coming in, and it's going to be Rams and Woads just making a push here. Dogao getting greedy with a castle drop. That is denied for the moment. But I think that he's going to have a lot of luck against what is only a couple of Mangudai and a couple of crossbows. Onagers on the front from Tim are making a push. Halbs and Onagers here are starting to roll in. This is a well-timed bit of a push. We'll have to see if the green player decides to respond to this with Mangudai. Ravel, Mangudai just couldn't get killed with one salvo of arrows in the corner. That's right. Salvo. Good word. Good word, my friend. Nice castle position here from Miguel. He may lose this TC, but he's not going to lose the whole area. Miguel transitioning into Hazar to try to deal with these siege onagers now if he can. However, Halbs and onagers will not be countered by Hazar for now. Okay, TC goes down, but the castle goes up. Green player, Miguel here, will lose a bit of territory. But I think he's still in a decent spot to probably be able to win that fight. But we'll see. Siege Ram is in for Dogao. He's pushing onto the castle here of Mateus. That castle is definitely going down. There'll be a couple of villagers going down alongside it. Second castle from the red player is also under fire. This is really going to hurt Mangudai production. We're going to have to see the red player transition into a different unit choice very quickly because Mangudai production is going to be really, really hindered. Both of these castles will drop in the near future. Just too many rams starting to come forward. Woad Raiders are on their way to becoming elite Woad Raiders, and it does look like the red player here is in a whole heap of trouble. Miguel's castles are mainly production buildings. Yeah, it's very true. He's doing a good job to keep them in a very defensive position. I wanted one here, but whatever. Who cares what I want? Who cares what I want? Elite Mangudai is in for the green, and no army for Melkor, indeed. Melkor here in red is in some serious trouble. He's got 5 military units. Siege Rams are breathing down his neck. Villager count at the moment is plenty. There's 120 vills here, but this is going to really start to hemorrhage. We are going to see TCs dropping quite soon. This castle is in hot water. Red player is spending a lot of time and energy just trying to keep that castle alive. And in the end, we will see elite Woad Raiders coming from Dogao to finish this game off with some panache. They're going to start knocking down vills. Castle will inevitably drop. And we will see the GG coming in from Mateus and Timotheus. Pretty nice 2v2. Miguel and Dogao here coming in with the higher ratings, coming in as the favorite. They handled their business pretty much from start to finish. I think that Miguel's decision to go with a quick feudal and some scouts was a more standard decision than maybe Mateus's. I think the red player went up a little bit later. In the end, though, I think this game was really just won by a couple of players with some superior experience just slowly strangling out their opponents. Very nice game. 46 minutes of game time. Win will go to Miguel and Dogao. And this is Killer B. I'll be signing off this game now. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. Come catch us on Twitch sometime, Tuesdays and Sundays. Anyway, much love.